All right, Ethan, let's take a look at your paper MLA citation first. This looks good. This looks good, except the date that we handed it in was the 6th of March, 2017, so make sure you fix that. This Macbeth's Achilles heel. Interesting, maybe not necessarily completely tied to the topic, but it's all right. All right, we'd love to start you off with an attention getter that's a little bit more than jumping right into Macbeth. Besides the first time you mention the character, you probably want to mention the play and the author too, so you got to do that. One more formatting thing real quick. You have double space right after all of your sentences, new sentences, so remember those just have to be one space, so you got to go back there and fix all those in here. All right, so the main problem is bipolarism. How to tell if someone is bipolar. That is a sentence fragment. These are some of the symptoms, which happens to be also Macbeth's symptoms as well, right? This is what you're going to talk about in the play. So don't mention them here if you're just going to bring them up later. Just say in the play Macbeth. So is it in the play Macbeth? Is it the name of the play, or is this the character and this should be a comma? Tell me which one. Oh, no, it is the play. Sorry. In the play Macbeth. So that's got to be, remember, books or plays are underlined or italicized. The main character Macbeth, no comma, demonstrated all these symptoms which led to his demise. And you go through each one, which is good. All his behaviors cost him his throne, his life. True, but we want to have a stronger connection. Like, what is the ultimate message of all of these symptoms? What does it do to him? Not just leads to his demise and downfall, but what is the bigger concept of it? All right, as we talked about in class, Ethan, we want to have some strong. We want to have some strong outside resources. So I want to know where you got this information from when it comes to sleeplessness. So you got to add, some different websites that you looked at that talks about hypomania symptoms, of many periods of hypomania symptoms and periods of depressive symptoms. So this is an incomplete sentence. The less severe, the major depression. Macbeth went through life with sleeplessness. We need a period. You have 3 spaces here, so be careful. He was afraid to go to sleep because he feared the horror he might dream of. Now, not necessarily just dream of, but remember what he says when he says he murdered sleep in Act 2. You want to go back and draw that in there. Now, Lady Macbeth says this later on, but the way that you set it up, you make it seem like he said this. So you got to set up this quote properly. And then when you have a stronger thesis statement, then you can talk about that at the end. It can lead to fearing sleep in your dreams, but there's a bigger concept because it eventually leads to his downfall. So we want to talk more about that concept in here, in your body paragraph. Make sure that you also have a strong topic sentence talking about what exactly the symptom does to him. All right, so his mood swings also relates to his hallucinations, but again, what does that have to do with the greater theme of the play? We want to put that in there. He rarely acted like a straight arrow in the play. That's an interesting way that you put that. Maybe at the beginning he was kind of a straight arrow, but it's rare. It's almost he's a pretty crooked guy overall. When no one else saw him, his wife claimed he was suffering from a disease. Now, what you've done is you've turned it and you've made it about her at this point. Although this may be a lie, she's trying to protect herself as well as her husband. But remember, this whole paper is about his moods or his symptoms of being bipolar. So you need to talk more about him and his bipolarism, not her. I don't care about her unless his symptom affects her in some way, which relates to your thesis, which you don't really have one. So you got to make sure that these are all connected pretty well. All right, Ethan, again, we want to bring up that you haven't really brought in any outside resources to back up what you're saying. I want to know what experts have to say about bipolarism, so keep adding that stuff in here. You do have this angry outburst at the soldier or the servant delivering him the message, but do you need this whole 3 lines for him to say that Macbeth calls him, quote, a lily-livered boy, and also, quote, a wave face? Something like that. You can embed those quotes and make it stronger. And all you say is, guess what? He has a symptom. He's angry. Okay? You're not adding anything on to the piece. So we need stronger topic sentence. We need more in-text citation from an outside source about the symptoms. And we need a better thesis statement that's going to give us better things to talk about at the end of our body paragraphs. All right, so now we have his extreme pleasure seeking or risk taking actions. Now, pleasure seeking You kind of mentioned at the beginning about killing. You don't in here, which is fine because I think that's not necessarily something we'd explore. But the risk taking is certainly in there. Now, you say that it's Macbeth's took a huge risk and challenged Macduff to a duel. Now, keep in mind, put this in context, even though Macbeth knew, quote, that he wouldn't be able to defeat him, right, because of the witch's prophecy. So, bring that up. It's the witch's prophecies that caused this. You do not need this long quote. It doesn't add anything to your paper. Doesn't add anything to the idea of risk taking. It's just there to take up room. So get rid of it. You don't need it at all. Find a better quote. Maybe the whole Dan be him that first cries hold enough. Maybe use that part of the quote. Maybe just this part, because that at least kind of shows his risk taking, that he's willing to fight him. Now, he didn't ignore the prophecy about Macduff. He tried killing his family, and he didn't realize. I guess when he saw Macduff in scene 8, he should have just ran away, but he doesn't. Now, he actually lost everything from the neck up, right? He lost his head, so he lost it from the neck up. And that, yes, it definitely led to his downfall. All these behaviors relating to bipolar disorder, no comma, combined to bring down the great Macbeth. If you don't get a lot of sleep, you get cranky. Well, I don't know if cranky is necessarily the word I use to describe Macbeth. He's pretty much a psychopath. So you might want to rephrase that. Try to make some longer sentences here, Ethan. And then it's a life-changing obstacle, not necessarily the greatest sentence in the world. We can have a stronger sentence there. All right, works cited page is all wrong. And I can help you with making that better. You just got to come talk to me, and I will help you get into what that should look like. But it's in your packet as well, your original packet. So you can look at that and see how that works cited page should look. So go back and do that. Really, Ethan, it's not a bad paper organizationally wise. You're missing transitional phrases. In between symptoms. You don't have those, things that you need in there as far as in-text citation, but you do a lot of things well. So hopefully we'll see a rewrite out of you and fix some of these things up.